Good. All right. So today we're going to go over load versus capacity. This is going to be an indicator or kind of predictor of how injuries happen and what you can do to kind of mitigate those. So on the board here, we've got our little chart. I'm going to go ahead and draw this dotted line up here. This is going to be our capacity, so our ability to do work or to tolerate stress. What we're going to be doing is filling up this column with stressors or loads on our system. So we're going to call this one stress or load. And we're going to break these down piece by piece. So this first one on the bottom here is going to be our anatomical dysfunction. This is parts of the body that do not support you the way that you need them to. That could be something as large as a bulging disc or surgically repaired knee or shoulder, all the way down to something as small as your hips being two different positions or angles. On top of that, we have our recovery ability. So our sleep, our diet, and our stress. We'll touch on that here in a few minutes. On top of that, we have our functional scope or functional diagnosis. So based on your movement based on your movement assessment, your flexibility and mobility testing, we'll determine this box, also how you move and how efficiently you are moving through ranges of motion will fall into this. These three boxes are our pre-existing loads. These are things that you wake up with every day. Anatomical dysfunction, you are not changing. Your sleep, your diet, and your stress, and your functional diagnosis or functional scope can change, and that's something we will talk about here in a minute. So on top of that, before we get our day going, we've got stress of home, if I could spell. Home, wife, kids, dogs, garden, cleaning, all that stuff will fall into this bucket. On top of that, we've got our work stress that everyone knows about. And then above that, we've got our exercise. So let's just go ahead and say we're going to start today with a bike. We're going to hop on that bike. And we're feeling all right. We're getting warm. And then we start getting into, let's say, maybe some kettlebell swings. There's some kettlebell swings. And now our lower back is really starting to tighten up. As you normally would, you try to push through that a little bit. And our next movement is a box jump. Box jump. And your third rep in, you are kind of doubled over, supporting yourself on the box and not being able to move too well. So as you can see, the box jumps is going to be the thing that you blame. And that's the thing that kind of set us over the top of this dotted line of our capacity. So above this line, we're going to have pain and we have a problem. Below the line, no pain, no problem. So those box jumps kind of set that off. You can start to feel it on the kettlebell swings. And now we're out for a week. Our back's killing us, and we've got to start over from square one. So let's say we start addressing our sleep quality, our diet, managing our stress better. Let's say best case, we cut this box in half. Ideally, we all but get rid of that box. Close to perfect sleep, our diet is dialed in for us. We have little to no stress. Or let me rephrase that. We're able to handle stress much better. And then above that, let's say we've fixed some of our hamstring issues, we've fixed some shoulder issues. Our now functional diagnosis or our scope of movement is also cut in half. And then, we still got our home stressors. We've got our work stressors. Well, now we have all this extra room. So when we hop on the bike, we do those kettlebell swings, and we do those box jumps, we're good. We're clear. We've got all this room up here, staying under our capacity, staying pain and injury free. So what do we do? Well, let's go for a run. We did our workout, maybe later that evening. Let's go for a run. Why not? And as you can see, we're getting pretty close to that line. And the back starts to stiffen up. Well, maybe there's some family stress that comes along, pushes us way over the top, and now we are back in the same position we were prior to. That's where what we do at Historic Fitness comes into play. We've taken these two loads and reduced them dramatically, ideally 50% or more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw a new capacity line up here. So now, after we do that run, we have all this extra room to work with. All this extra room for activity that we can keep ourselves pain-free, injury-free, and continue to do the things that we want to do. So now you're asking, how do we do that? Well, through proper programming. Let me draw this right over here to the side. You can still see this. So let's start at 0. So when we work out, we are actually becoming less fit. And as we recover, if we are recovering enough, quality sleep, quality nutrition, managing our stresses, we actually recover beyond our baseline. And we repeat that process, kind of digging and climbing and digging and climbing. And I could shorten this up a good amount here so we can really see the difference. So we're going to dig a little, recover a lot. Dig a little, recover a lot. And just keep working in this pattern. If you are not recovering after you're working out, you're just doing this number here. Dig, kind of recover, dig, kind of recover, dig. We're going the wrong way. Our capacity is actually going to be shrinking down here as opposed to increasing over time. And we do this with programming. We do this with recovery. And we do that so you can do the things that you want to do. Call it there. Cool.